Okay, so somebody had asked me a question. He says, I do meditate and I do well. I think I observe the thoughts and I seem to be doing good. And I go back into my inner state, the consciousness, and become one with it. And I reach the shunya state also. And yet, when I open my eyes and I cannot put it into practice, what do I do? So, how do you make meditation practical? I mean, everybody would have a different levels of progress, of course. But the question is, in nutshell, is the what you experience as shunya state. Why doesn't it remain in throughout the daytime, throughout the time when you're not meditating? The reason is because we are exposed to sansar all the time, where there is a lot of demand. We have to interact with people and we have to achieve the goals and perform at our job, and all those things keeps us so occupied that you forget the shunya state, even though you have experienced it in meditation. So, needless to say that there is a solution, but needless to say that first you need to experience the shunya state. So, you need to meditate deeply in a very, very quiet place in the beginning. And then, as we already discussed, how to walk away from the mind and do the mindfulness in the beginning. And then eventually you turn your consciousness onto itself. Buddha called it paramita. Paramita is walking away, like a walking away from a river. You were in the river, now you came out of the river, you're on the river bank, and you're just watching the river of thoughts in case of meditation. But then that's not the end of it though. This is just the beginning. So now you want to redirect your awareness. Not that awareness really listens to you, but where it points to, you can. Like throughout the day, when we're talking to friend or somebody's talking to us and our mind is somewhere else, you are focusing your awareness somewhere else. The same way. So you do have some power as far as what to be aware of. That you do have a power. So it is your choice whether to go forward or backward. So going backwards, you will not see anything in the beginning, no question about it, but it's all a formless state. There is no shape, no size, no color, nothing. But you just have to start realizing that it is there because it is observing your thoughts. So now you have to fold your awareness as if you are studying the awareness itself. So as you do that, little by little, the sansar starts disappearing. And then you start merging yourself, the consciousness becoming conscious of consciousness. So that's the ultimate path that we need to take. And then, of course, you start going deeper and deeper and deeper. So, how to translate that into the day to day life? So, meditation is not just about experiencing the shunya state, that's just the beginning. So, now you have to, at the same time, start receiving realizations also. And the realizations, not just in a talk, but realizations interior contemplation. That's what I call contemplative meditation. So, all the things, so Buddha said that don't hate anything, don't try to walk away from anything, just understand its nature. And that's the crux of the whole spiritual life. So if you realize that everything that is in sansar is short lasting, is ephemeral, it's going to be disappearing sooner or later. Why? Because that's the nature of sansar. There is nothing you can do about it. Everything and everyone in the sansar has a beginning and they have an end. Whether it's an end happens in a short time or it takes millions of years, but everything is gonna disappear. Nothing is permanent. Everything is impermanent, ephemeral. So that is the nature of sansar. It's not something you hate it. You realize it that that is the nature. So there is nothing. It's like you try to dig the sand and you expect the oil to come out of it. It's not going to happen because there is no oil. So if you try to look permanence, in the sansar, which is impermanent, you're going to suffer. So if you want to suffer, keep doing it, no problem. But at some point, the wisdom start coming up that shunya state has no form. How can it die? How can you say when it was born? It has no structure to be say that, okay, this is shunyata. It's all internal realizations. So you reach to the shunya state where there are no thoughts, and you realize that it is something that is permanent, ever present, omnipotent, omnipresent, and it's infinite. So now there is a clear cut difference between what is inside and what is outside. It's like oil and water. If you put oil on the water, it's gonna float. So oil is slippery. It keeps on moving around. And the inside, the formless state is like the water on which the oil droplets are floating around. So when you live your life in the real world, one thing has to go deep, deep, deep into your mind, into your psyche, that outside anything that I see, what is being seen, what is objectified, is short lasting, is ephemeral, it's impermanent, it's permanent versus the consciousness, which is permanent. So whatever you see is impermanent and it has to change. It is gonna be subjected to the change, birth, growth, decay, and death. So not an individual experience, individual person, not an individual event or objects or persons or situation. The whole sansar, including you, your body, and your mind, everything is impermanent. And in this impermanent, you cannot get anything out of it. Whatever you get out of it also would be impermanent. But still, practically speaking, theoretically speaking, you understand all these things. But how do you put it in a practical way? So that's where a beautiful explanation comes from Osho. Osho says that first find the shunya state, become one with it, that you are the consciousness. And whatever else, because consciousness is awareness, it is the subject itself. The subject cannot be objectified other than by the subject itself. Only consciousness can know the consciousness, right? So then you realize that consciousness is the subject, and then everything else is object. And that includes your body, your mind, your objects, your dog, your neighbors, your friends, anything, money you have, everything is impermanent. And this because sansar is impermanent. Because sansar means sansharan. Whatever moves is sansar. If somebody is born and does not want to die, he's fighting against the current of the river. River goes only in one direction. He doesn't want to go in that direction. He's going to keep fighting, but he's going to be wasting his whole life. So what happens is, first you find the shunya state within you and settle down in it. Settle down that you are the shunya state. You experience the ultimate tranquility and the bliss state within. And it's fine. And recognize as its nature as permanent. So now you are in the ultimate state where you cannot go any further because it cannot be objectified. So it is your subject. It's like a sun. Like you go from planet to planet to planet to planet, but ultimately when you settle down in the sun is the only one. There is nothing else. No matter how shiny the Mars or Jupiter may look like, it's all borrowed light. So consciousness is the ultimate subject, and it's in you right now. So what you need to do is live your life in full awareness. And what does it mean? And here comes the trick that he recommended, and it really, I tried it so many times, and it really works very well. So realize that any action you do is also being performed in sansar. And since it is part of the sansar, it will have a beginning and it will have an end. But we frequently forget whenever we do action, say, okay, I want to go have a ice cream, right? So my desire comes in, my mental activity starts, that I am not happy in my inner state, I want to have ice cream. So you go and get the ice cream. Then you get satisfaction. But after that, what? You finish your ice cream. Now satisfaction came. Now you don't want any more ice cream because you're done. So it's the desire. When the desire started, that was the beginning of desire for the ice cream. So now when it ended, it again proves that everything is impermanent. So desire also has its own lifespan. Desire started, it got fulfilled, and it ended. So anytime you start any activity, just remain in a full state of awareness that it is arising from what? Because at this point, when you have experienced the shunya state, which is infinite, it's like an ocean, right? There is an ocean of consciousness within you. You need to experience that. Now, any thought, any desire that arises from your mind is also coming out of what? The ocean. The wave, the waves of desires, where do they arise from? From the consciousness. Now, you were not happy with your inner state that, okay, I'm not completely satisfied. I need something to become happy, which obviously is wrong. But regardless, whenever desire arises, always keep it in mind. Always be aware of this shunya state, the full state of awareness within, and every thought, every desire, every concept, every belief that starts expressing itself, realize that it is arising from consciousness. So it is a gift of the consciousness. So consciousness gets modified into a desire, or anger, or hatred, or love. All your emotions, all your desires, all your beliefs, all your convictions, they are just waves playing around from what? From this infinite blissful state of consciousness. So stay connected with it in a full state of awareness. Even if desire is arising, watch it, and watch it also come down. And also at the time when it finishes, realize that shunya state has come back again. It's like I always give an example. When you speak, say, okay, I am here, right? What was there before that? There was silence. And you say, I am here. And you think the silence is gone, think again. In between each word, there is microseconds of silence. Silence doesn't go anywhere. Does the sky go anywhere? When the clouds disperse and regenerate together, combine together and separate out, keeps making all those things like a play being played in the sky, which is emptiness, the space. That space of consciousness is like that. In this, all these things are playing part, including you and your vrittis and vasanas. Everything is playing around in this emptiness. So remain aware that whatever is arising is arising out of within this infinite space of consciousness. And in between, when it's still going on, you continuously remain aware. That awareness always should not die out. And when the activity finishes, that space of shunyata also comes back. Means it was never gone, it is always there. Now, what happens in a typical scenario when ice cream desire arises? You are thinking about the ice cream, nothing else. So you forget your inner state of consciousness. So you have to realize that's something you have to realize. Do exactly what you want to do, no problem. But realize that it is arising out of shunya state. While you are consuming, remain aware. Just like when I say I am here, when I'm speaking, I'm still aware that I am pausing microseconds of silence in between three words so that it can make sense. If I take that out, I would say, I'm here. You cannot understand me. So shunyata never disappears. Even though clouds fight, they combat with each other, they kill each other. All those things are going on, but there are always multiple clouds, and multiple clouds means only one thing: there is sky in between, the space that separates the clouds, to make it simple. So all the forms are temporary, and the formless state is permanent. So whenever the desire ends, you enjoy your ice cream. If you had stayed aware at the time while enjoying the ice cream that, okay, whatever I'm doing is still impermanent, it's going to disappear, and it will disappear. And then you feel a relief that you are back into your conscious state. So that way you can be aware of awareness 24/7. And that's where the secret lies of how to use the meditative experiences in your daily life. That way, you remain connected with godliness. Whatever you do, whatever you want to do, you will be doing in full awareness. And believe me, because you will not be doing it for your own personal gain, because whatever you're going to gain is also going to be impermanent. So learn something from that. Okay, you go ahead and taste the ice cream, enjoy it, but then also learn that it did not stay permanent. It makes me desire it more. So little by little, the the inner engineering starts happening that okay, whatever I am aware of is impermanent. You don't have to walk away from sansar. You don't have to hate sansar. You just have to know its nature. That's what Buddha said. Realizing the true nature of everything always lets you go higher and connect with the consciousness permanently. That's the path to the moksha. Thank you.